my name is Isabella Kraus, and later in the video, you'll meet Irvin. But for our final this year, our case study, we are going to be helping a Hollywood executive, and you will find out more information in the next couple slides. So as part of the prompt, we are junior data analysts that are working for a business intelligence consultant. Working for about 6 months now, we have been given the opportunity to lead a project for our brand new client. We will be walking through the business tasks and presenting the data-driven recommendation. So our client, get to know our client, right? Our client is an upcoming movie executive from Epicverse Entertainment in Hollywood. He wants to invest in a new movie that is being created, showing in the fall of about 2026. They're interested in knowing if investing in this movie will help or hurt his company. The big question he has is if the box office sales will surpass the investment that he made. So we have about 6 different groups of slides that you'll be seeing. We have the ask, prepare, process, analyze, share, and then act. Each of these slides and each of these videos that you'll be seeing, part of the little chunks, are just different parts of the process that we will be going through as data analysts to help our movie executive. Our first thing for the step 1, which is ask, is our business task. So we have 3. So what we want to do is ask what are the current trends in the movie industry, particularly regarding the audience preferences, the genre, popularity, and the box office performance. Second would be, what is the estimated production budget for the movie, including the costs related to casting, filming, post-production, and marketing. The final question is, what are the potential risks and uncertainties associated with investing in the particular movie, such as performance of the cast and crew, competition of other releases, or a shift in audience preference. The next thing is finding out our key stakeholders. So the first one is Epicverse, right? So as the client, Epicverse Entertainment is the primary stakeholder. They are investing in resources, both time and money, into the project and are seeking insight to make informed decisions whether investing in this new movie will benefit the company. Then we have our business intelligence consultant, which is me and Irvin. As these business intelligence consultants, we play a crucial role in leading the project and providing data-driven recommendations, as well as being responsible for analyzing the data and identifying different trends. The final thing is the movie production team. And although they're not directly mentioned in our scenario, the movie production team is an important stakeholder indirectly that is affected by the client's decisions and really helps with the success of the movie in general. Our next thing is identifying the problems to solve. Now, there's 4, and I'm not going too far into depth in all 4 of them, but I will just mention part of it. The first one is to develop a model to predict the potential office box sales, right, that the upcoming movie will be based on, which are based on various different things, genre, cast, director, same things that we had mentioned earlier. The second is to conduct a thorough analysis to estimate the total investment required for the production and marketing of the movie. Third would be to analyze the current trends. I think right now animated movies are pretty popular, so maybe he should probably think about that. And fourth would be to consider the long-term implications of the investment of Epicverse Entertainment, including its brand reputation, marketing position, and future growth opportunities within the entertainment industry. Next up is the guiding question number 1. So learning how our data is organized, right? We decided to use a public domain data set, which was available through several things, but we ended up using Coursera and showing us into BigQuery, downloading that data set, and it is now Google Doc. Where our data is stored is the RR Studio Cloud. And are there any issues with bias? Well, as a junior data analyst, your limited experience does restrict your ability to really perfect and analyze the data. And additionally, the client's expectations could put pressure in us and the recommendations that they desire. So basically, it probably would benefit us if we were a little more experienced. But I would consider the data to be credible because it was from a public data set that had movies that have all been released before. You can look up any of them and they're real. And so I would argue that they are credible and reliable. Just prepare. We have guiding question number 2. We need to identify if the dataset is reliable. Yes, the dataset is reliable because it's coming from Coursera and BigQuery. Is it original? The dataset is original because it does come from real life movies. Is it comprehensive? The dataset from BigQuery is comprehensive because it provides historical box office sales data, the industry trends, financial metrics to assess the potential profitability of the investment that the Epicverse Entertainment will be later determining whether they want to invest or not, and isn't current. The datasets from BigQuery do stay very current, and most of them only date, well, at least the one we are working with, only dates back about 10 years. And so I would argue, yes, it is current, only because movies do take a really long time to be created. And so using the data that has so many different movies is definitely something that helps us. And as I cited, the data source is currently a historical one with box office sales and trends, production costs, everything there. So we are going to be able to provide a data-driven recommendation on whether the investing company should invest or not. And Epicverse will just have to figure out if they want to. Guiding question 3 is, how are you addressing licensing, privacy, security, and accessibility? So to address this, when using BigQuery data, we ensure the compliance with the relevant data usage agreements, and we implement robust data commonizations and the different protocols to enforce strict access control. And since we ended up being able to download the dataset onto a Google Sheet, technically it's in my possession and in Erwin's possession, and so we didn't really need to share with anyone, but if we needed help with something, we did end up sharing it with our teacher just to make sure that he can help walk us through certain things. And how did we verify the data's integrity? Again, it's from BigQuery. We trust and have learned to use it, and so by trusting that external source, we perform profiling and other things to basically say, hey, this is data that is going to be good, it's reliable, because if we are taught to use it in Coursera by using BigQuery, I would hope the data that we are being given is good data. So the key tasks, right, before you go out and shoot your shot, you have to think about these things. The data being organized, it is organized by a numerical order. Credibility, we have to look at guiding question number 3, and as well as the data source used, just go ahead and look back at question 3. We had mentioned that right there. Now that we're in step 3 process, we have our guiding questions for this. So the questions being, we did end up using a large data set, used RStudio Cloud, right, to store this data and perform anything that we needed to perform using it. And documenting, processing any of the cleaning that we did. We did end up having to delete all columns but the 2 that we were using, which were budget and box office revenue, only because the RStudio Cloud was being very weird about how we specifically were supposed to exactly use and run the queries. So, key tasks, checking the data for errors. There were none. Yet again, we did mention previously about cleaning the data. We changed it from currencies just to numerical numbers just because we thought it might help out a bit. Choosing our tools, again, used Coursera, BigQuery, RStudio, Google Docs as well. Not Google Docs, sorry, Google Sheets. It's early in the morning. But yeah, those were our 3 main tools that we ended up using. And data source use, again, Coursera, guiding us to BigQuery, found the set on BigQuery, and downloaded it onto Google Sheets. So this is what our data set looks like now. It really is just budget and box office revenue. Yeah. The link is right there if you want to go ahead and click it. I'm not sure how it's going to work on a video, but hopefully it does work. For step 4, right, which is analyze. We want to know what the story is told with the data. And based on the data from about 2012 to 2016, we analyzed the trends in film industry, including box office performance, genre, popularity, audience demographics, and much more that we use to make a data-driven recommendation on whether investing in an upcoming movie for fall of 2026 is likely to yield box office success, surpassing the investment that was made. Second question is, how will these insights help answer your business question? These insights will help us quantify the potential return of investment, or ROI, for the upcoming movie by analyzing historical box office data that is similar to the film that Epicverse wants to release in the fall of 2026. They will allow for us to identify key performance indicators, or KPIs, and trends in the film industry that can inform recommendations on whether investing in the movie aligns with the client's business objectives. And by really predicting and modeling these techniques, we can forecast the potential box office revenue, sales, and see if the new movie, based on these various factors such as genre, cast, marketing budget, and audience demographics, will aid the client to make a better informed decision about their investment. Is where we found the budget and the box office revenue. Going through it, we found the minimum of each of the things, which actually ended up being the same number, ironically, kind of weird. We found the first quartile, right? One is 14 million, the other one is about 31 million. The median kind of doubles in size from budget to box office revenue, and it continues to do so from going from the third quartile to maximum, which is, I find, very fascinating that they can really double their sales, even just through budget. So I definitely would want to invest in a movie if I was the movie executive from Hollywood. So identifying trends that we found, right? We noticed that based on the trends, the movies with higher revenue and larger production budgets tended to perform way better with box office sales. I would suggest that investing in an upcoming movie with substantial financial backing could potentially yield a positive return for Epicverse Entertainment. This is the last thing you'll hear from me before we switch it on to Irvin, who will explain step 5 and step 6. But key task relationships, right? As the budget increases, so does the revenue generated. So this correlation suggests that investing more money into production, marketing, and the distribution, I don't know why I said description, tends to result in higher earnings as the box office, right, keeps going up. Higher budgets often allow to enhance visual effects, star-studded casts, right? And the promotions, campaigns, things you see right on the sides of buses sometimes, commercials, them appearing in ads, right? All that stuff will generate more revenue. Thus, while there are exceptions to the general pattern, it indicates a higher budget typically translates to a higher revenue for potential movies.
Welcome to step 5 of our project, the share phase. I want to share you this part with our evidence. We use ggplot to create the graph, and we use MDSP as our variable, but in our daily activity we used earlier, we use DA as the variable for that project, for that assignment. So we used all these key components and we typed it as our own. So this is what I typed in the pane. I use ggplot data equals MDSSP, which is getting the data from this, which the graph is getting the data from, uses GenPoint to create the scatter plots, and we used labs to create the title for the thing, which is the relationship between total budget and box office revenues. And on the next slide, we have the evidence showing that we did it. Here are our guiding questions. What story does our data tell us? The data tells a story of a successful investment in movies, where the return on investment is nearly doubled in terms of box office revenues. This suggests that the movies being invested in are generally profitable ventures with the potential to attract a wide audience and generate significant revenue. This could indicate a combination of factors such as strong marketing, appealing storytelling, well-known actors, and effective distribution strategies. Our second question is, how do your findings relate to your original question? On average, movies with higher budgets trend to achieve a greater return on investment and experience increased box office revenue. Act, Act 6. Share. Here are our guiding questions. What is our final conclusion based on our analysis? Analyzing the correlation between movies, budgets, and revenue reveals a significant trend. Generally, movies with higher budgets tend to generate greater revenue. This relationship suggests that investments in production quality, star power, and marketing efforts contribute to the increased box office success. In conclusion, while there are exceptions that the data underscores the importance of strategies, budget allocations, and maximizing potential returns in the film industry, how could our team, business, apply our insights? Analyzing the correlation between movie budgets and revenue can help our team identify trends and patterns in the film industry. By leveraging these insights, we can create informed decisions when allocating resources and planning future projects. Additionally, understanding the relationship between budgets and revenues can guide our business strategy, allowing us to optimize investments and maximize returns. Ultimately, this analysis empowers us to pursue projects with the potential for high revenue generation while also managing the cost efficiency. Thank you. This will be the end of our project.